entire room.
Last puzzle was fine.
I think the last puzzle was more difficult, or less difficult than we made it out to be.
No!
That's the word I was trying to use.
He disagrees.
Alright! Fuck
What's
you!
wrong?
I left something in the director's office.
The picture of Kane.
What was it?
The picture. Ugh, how could I forget it?
Don't know. Oh yeah, we must have set it down after using the face recognition thing.
Yeah. I'm going back. You two go on ahead to the warehouse.
I want to come with you.
Me too.
Nah, that's fine. Why don't you head back to the warehouse, Sigma?
Because we have nothing to lose from all traveling together.
The
And
others are
you
probably already
sus.
Right. I'll see you two later then.
Right.
Bye, Mr. Sigma.
No way in hell I would have let that old man walk off.
I watched them jog off toward the blue door. Well, you also would be dead round one.
No.
And then they were gone.
I'd be at 3 points going into round 2.
Guess I should be getting back then.
Because each of the opponents I would have went up against had picked Betray that round.
Well, yeah, it's the safer option.
And how dare you assume I'd be dead round 1? Fuck you.
Stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. Kay and Luna, Fi and Clover, and Dio. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the rightmost AV room and slid his card through the reader.
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy? This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it. You see? I can be considerate.
Ah, how considerate.
I hate him even more.
But Tenmyoji and Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it real quick.
And they'll be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
Oh, my eraser. Son of a bitch.
While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we'd investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. None of us had found anything, and we were no closer to unraveling any of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door, and Tenmyoji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Nah, I'll be fine by myself. It's not that far away.
Just don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
That's... I don't think... Okay. Look, I'm just going to the director's office. I'll be right back. No big deal.
Why is he so dumb?
See you guys later. I gave a quick
Why is
goodbye
she so-
wave and stepped out of the warehouse.
Why is she back to being so cheerful when her friend's dead? Not even cold yet.
Who do you think is dead? My
Liz?
assumption is the old man.
Oh, yeah, probably. Or the kid, because the thing we gave him to quote-unquote cure him wasn't a cure and he killed himself.
Just a temporary stopgate type thing?
Yeah, potentially.
Or both.
Yeah, they both might be dead, too. We're just fucking not here.
Huh. That's odd. There's nobody here. Picture's gone, though. Tenmyoji and Quark must have been here then. I laid out the floor B map. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Ah. Well, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot, might as well head back, I suppose. I'd packed up the map and was heading toward the door when... Huh? There was a light on where there hadn't been a light before. What? Why is that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously toward it. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it, slowly.
So, you finally made it.
No, you're...
I am Zero. I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky. As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
Nah. I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile and kept my bald fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you. First, I will tell you about termites. In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say.
Just a little.
I imagine you look rather bewildered right now. Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound? They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds. Now, consider humans. Why are we alive? Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA. No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites. We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty. And you are about to catch a glimpse of it. Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think. Consider what I've said. Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people. I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you.
Oh no.
It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Sorry, what? A bomb?
Are you ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention. The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
Are you two writing things?
Wait a second.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this.
Done.
Done. Good.
Okay. Mark that bomb number what?
Bomb number 1.
I had no idea what he was talking about.
This is gonna go metaphysical though, so it's fine.
What bomb? Was he saying there were bombs too? He'd guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here. If you do, you will be penalized immediately. I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Wait. God damn it, you can't just spout all that crap and disappear. I found myself yelling at empty air. The hologram had disappeared.
I'm using a pencil with 1.33 millimeter lead.
What kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? Shit. Kick that at a nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Ah, crap. Need to get back. Not like there's any point staying here. Spun around and ran out of the room, toward the warehouses.
Aren't we at like 3?
Grandpa! Look! Mr. Sigma's back!
Took you long enough.
Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already?
Yep.
Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah! Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
No.
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round. That's it.
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap, you can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what you pick.
Sometimes the sneezes happen and I can't fucking block them. You get to 9 whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True, but you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That'd mean you choose betray to protect yourselves.
But that's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this and both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you, but I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I swear too. I promise.
Man. So all you've got is a promise, huh?
When I make a promise, I keep it. Trust me.
Please! You've got to trust us.
Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You gotta choose ally. You promised.
Only for you, kid.
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room second from the right.
Guess that beef's the last one for us.
Guess we should get moving. Into the dead person one.
It's always the last one. We're always in the last one.
Because we're always the last to go in, and we always put in an answer last second for some reason.
One minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
Had a decision to make. Should I trust Quark and Timioji? I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That'd bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try to escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but...
Please! You've gotta trust us. You've gotta choose ally. You promised.
they're at 8 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's a -2 penalty if you get betrayed.
Yep.
they'll be balanced at 6.
So
Yes.
then they'd be down to 6 and we'd be up to 6, right?
Yes.
So logically, the only way everybody leaves is everybody ends up having the exact same number. Or dying. Right?
Probably. The
Yeah.
logical choice here is to betray.
The moral choice would be to go ally.
Actually, not this time.
To choose ally.
Because of how this game works, the correct decision is going to be betray because everyone needs to have the same number.
That's what I just said.
I know, but he said something else. Timioji I could betray easily enough, but Quark? What the hell is I gonna do?
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
So this tells me that choosing an ally here is actually going to lead to a
8,
dead end.
7, 6,
Yeah,
5,
because this class splits.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We're gonna have to do both, but this path does split.
Yes.
Round 3.
But it may
of
go
the
on in the
Ambidex
other
game
pathway.
Has been completed.
Probably.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
We also
Thank you
haven't seen the
for
bunny
your
again.
participation.
Well, yeah, they already explained everything and then they had to leave and they were really upset about it.
Now opening.
They put on a babe face.
Heel turn, they voted
Results
betray.
From round 3.
Yeah, I
The
bet.
Ambidex game
No.
will now be
Do we have a reason to?
displayed.
That's just one extra
No.
point.
Direct
They-
your
yeah, no, they don't.
attention to the results.
Because they can have. They can
Keep
leave
us
with
at
10
one
points,
like the
9 points, 11
Dirty
points.
little heathen that we are.
Dio is always going to choose betray, no matter what. 100%. He might go smart and choose ally here, because it doesn't matter. Nope.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, huh.
Huh.
I mean, one way or another, Clover has 11, so she can leave.
Luna and Clover Hey, you poor
Oh, it
guy.
doesn't
I'm
matter.
so sorry. Something's
Just me and
weird.
Fi
That's
living at the
weird.
fucking bottom of the world.
Since day fucking one, dude.
Subtracted.
That motherfucking bastard. You can't trust Tenmyoji. You can't fucking trust him. Hey, we're a blue solo.
Hey, what the hell, guys? Why'd you betray me?
Quark had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise, Tenmyoji?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
What? So, you're not going to leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave.
What?
Look, see Clover over there?
What? Don't tell me.
Yep. She has orders to leave. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyoji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyoji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Shut up, Dio. Nobody likes you.
I like him.
Clover? Are you really going to leave? Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others, so we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy? Kept my promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell, I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Tenmyoji.
You say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's got to pay for what he's done.
He?
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
Neat. Bastard.
The number 9 door has
Fucking
been opened.
Clover,
It
dude.
will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Why
Oh,
would
wait.
Clover
I
betray?
need to do
This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What's this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
He pressed it into my hand.
He's gonna spill all the dirty secrets
See you
about
later,
his shitty
Mr.
grandfather.
And he turned and ran toward the door, Tenmyoji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter I didn't even try to stop him. Before I could think of anything to say.
See you.
Goodbye.
You. Fuck you too. Clover doesn't make any sense.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you.
The second
for
path,
your
it's only gonna be Clover that leaves.
participation. As the game
Perhaps.
is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
Still gotta go there.
Escape
Yeah, I
is
know.
not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
This is our dead end.
that end, but probably information for
Shit.
the next time.
They're gone.
All we can do now
It
is hope they
didn't
bring
end,
help
but This is
back.
our dead end.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. This is Quark, Reed.
It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt. But somehow, he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too.
Makes it.
Grandpa didn't need to worry, though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get stretched. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either.
You're a Kryptonian.
When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. He's not a Kryptonian, he can't get sick then.
Yes, he could. When they're getting their powers, they get sick real bad.
I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky.
5.
Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it's supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find someone who would take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me that Grandpa was trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd brag to everyone about how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." It's kind of problem. It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day, he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When he got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on the stool next to the counter. The stool is pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, and then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at Grandpa when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words cannot describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know it's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I tore one of my shoes that morning and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and I just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then, I started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It started raining pretty hard though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was, I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop, though, so I just sat there, staring out at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard someone groaning. At first, I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved. But I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me for so long that he collapsed. That was horrible. He heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He got a real bad fever, and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care for me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa because a week later, his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up. But when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He even worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out in the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. When he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he had gotten some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't.
So there's your text landmine, Thaddeus.
I
And
lost the
also-
headphone halfway through that.
And also very possibly our first ending gauging by the music.
Quite possibly.
Sorry, say it again? First ending doing what now?
Gauging by the music, and now the
possibly our
credits!
Quite possibly our first ending,
First ending.
due to the
First
credits
time.
and music.
I'm gonna show it the first time here, and then we're gonna show it at the very end, and the rest of them I'm just gonna try to skip.
That's fine.
Because
That's
we're
fine.
gonna get a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's
There's
only
gonna be like
what, 9
13 of them.
Where'd my headphone go? How'd you get over there?
Obligatory. This is not the end. The game requires you to get all the endings before you can get the actual ending.
Yep. And this is one of our secret endings that we had to get.
Nah, it's secret. This is one of the required endings.
Well, it technically is one of the secret endings because we went to the laboratory before we went anywhere else, luckily, and then that opened up this path.
Still not a secret though. It's as intended.
Well, it would've
We
been
had
a
to get the
to
bomb
be
password.
continued.
That's part 1.
It would have been a to be continued if we didn't go to the lab first, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Letter information is probably important too.
I don't know.
Maybe.
It tells us information about the kind of guy Tenmyoji is. He is very loyal, but only to the kid. There's more about the kid than he does anything else. So he
Thought the
will
letter
do
would at
anything and
least
everything
tell
to make
us.
sure the kid is safe.
Yeah.
And that
thought the letter-
includes killing people, more than likely. If push
Probably.
comes to shove.
Would at least tell
At
us.
least tell us what year they got abducted, kidnapped.
Maybe. Didn't though.
It didn't. But it did say it was Christmas. Actually, it didn't refer
It
to
didn't say anything about the
at all.
abduction. So
Yeah.
It just talked about their
And-
dystopian future land.
Yeah.
The dystopian future land that the others didn't experience.
The
Hey, we found the
Tenmyoji end.
Tenmyoji end.
How we end up with his ending first?
Because he's the main character, motherfuckers. Don't you know?
He's whatever the fuck that kid's name was.
We actually
Let
get
me
their
guess,
faces.
it's
Now we gotta go betray him.
ending for each person.
Yep. We gotta go betray him and watch fucking Clover leave the room. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
1.
Shut up.
Please. You.
Sorry, Quark, but no.
10.
You lied to us.
9.
You've
Eight.
betrayed my trust.
Well, no, Tenmyoji lied to us, not the kid.
5.
I ain't right.
4. 3. 2.
Like when Dio
Wow.
fucking said it was the kid's fault. It wasn't the kid's fault, it was Dio. Because Dio's a dick.
Nah, that was also Quark.
Round
I
3
doubt it.
of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you, Ambidex.
I'm glad the puns are gone, but I kind of miss the rabbit.
Same.
I warrant they'll be back.
Results from
Oh, yeah, because we gotta do like 2 whole fucking lines with them. So, yeah.
Pun.
I was trying to ignore it. You could have just shut up.
No, I can't.
Well, Clover
Fuck
gets
you
her
too.
11 points.
points have please.
How can we prevent Clover from having
Hey, what's the deal?
Quark had nothing to do with it. I entered the vote.
So why'd you choose Betray?
Couldn't I ask you the same thing?
Because you did it last time.
I don't really think this is the time for a fight, though.
Prior knowledge.
Clover's over by the door.
She's always gonna
What?
do that.
Oh no.
This is the 4th time we've watched her leave the fucking room.
So her success rate is, good.
Very.
Very good.
And she's chosen Betray every time, by the way.
The number 9 door.
Fuck, she opened it.
No, she chose Ally once. You're
Clover,
right.
wait.
My brain.
But we made her choose Ally once.
Yeah, you're right.
And she tried to seduce me.
well.
Not very well. What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm going to call the others. I'll get justice for Alice.
Justice. Wait, do you mean?
Leaving. You stay.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Time for me to go. No! Please, Clover, wait!
Like hell, I'm just gonna let you walk out of here.
You leapt at Clover, his fists raised. Clover easily avoided him and moved toward the door.
You ever try to stab everyone or fight everyone who's trying to leave?
Because he doesn't want
Because
people to leave.
he wants to be the one to leave. Doesn't want other people to leave him in here.
I caught one last glimpse of her face as she slid through the door. It was a mask of ice. All ice.
Fuck you.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you.
The true ending's gonna be all of us
for
getting out.
participation.
Yes.
As the game is over, all doors
Potentially, except for
Require
Alice.
all the other endings.
It's
It's gonna require all the other endings, yes, and it's probably good. It might be without Alice.
Please
Might.
enjoy your stay.
You say without Alice?
Yes. One of them might die in each go through.
Game over.
It wasn't. Well, it is the logical choice, but it wasn't the right choice there.
Okay.
Ally was the ending choice.
Well, yeah, because then they betray us and they get the thing, but then that just leads him to giving us the information pad, which isn't really much of anything, but you know, whatever. Tells us about the dystopia outside. Now, we can head to here, or we can start a whole new branch of the two options. I think we want to just stay below this line.
What was that choice?
What choice?
That that splits that off right there.
This
where we're going.
is the AB game number 1.
Ally vs Betray?
Yep.
I see.
Us was Phi, and the rock, paper, scissors game.
10 seconds remain.
Well, you won. The decision's
Oh,
yours.
it's post-winning. Haha, I do not need to work.
Now decide, ally or betray.
We
3,
choose Betray.
2, 1.
Oh my god, we won't sit at 1 point forever! Holy shit!
You actually get points?
No, we get
No.
0 here, we stay at 3!
Round
You
This is
said
where
0.
Tenmyoji
You said
betrays
3
us.
though.
Game has been completed. Results.
This is where Tenmyoji betrays our
and
ass.
escape.
The asshole.
This might be the true route. No, I doubt it.
No.
It's fine. I stepped out of the AB room. I could see the others running toward the projection, shoving and pushing. Tenmyoji was left behind, his footsteps a slow, heavy plod. Why is he like this?
Betray, huh? That's messed up.
What? You said I
Hero's
should.
back.
Hey, I didn't say that. I just asked you a question. What would happen to our BP if Tenmyoji chose to betray us?
Was a leading question. I get it. I was wondering why you were so happy to let me choose after you lost in rock, paper, scissors. You were planning to use me as a scapegoat all along.
Was I?
Just maybe. God damn it.
Absolutely.
Yo, what's
0!
Siggy?
Hey!
kids doing over there?
No.
We're about to announce the results.
Shut up.
Anyway, we need to go have a look at the results first. Come on.
Pin. Hey,
These are
wait.
voice lines you've already gone through.
Shit. Ow.
Yeah, I know, but it's been a minute.
Looks like
Yeah.
you're all here. Finally,
It's been a minute.
let's get
What?
ready to rock! Amberdex game! Round
Okay, I don't miss the rabbit anymore.
the results! If everybody would please direct their eyes to this monitor.
God damn it.
I love
I
Sierra
don't think I
so
missed the
much.
rabbit. I think I just miss having something to be mad at. Oh, poor Luna. Poor Alice.
What?
Really? Holy
Wait,
shit.
what?
Interesting.
So it completely fucking changed.
That's not supposed to happen.
No, it's not.
Here are the results from your game. Now, let us check the numbers on our bracelets.
What the fuck?
Interesting.
That's weird.
I got
Unexpected.
betrayed?
He chose Ally?
Yeah, we're
What?
all confused.
Chose Betray last time.
Last time? What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. The truth was, I didn't know why I said that. Why I said that either. The words just appeared in my mouth before I knew I was saying them.
Oh, you're the one who chose betray. I should be asking you why.
I told him you might choose betray.
You.
I can't believe you. I'd never choose betray. I trusted you two. This is what I
I apologize.
You don't need to apologize. I was the one who did it. I pushed the button.
Oh, yeah. I guess you've got a point.
God damn it, she goaded me again.
Fuck you.
Huh? Wait,
It's Sigma's fault. You want to blame someone, blame him.
what the hell, Fi?
What, you gonna fight each other now? I don't care which one of you pushed the button. I'm never trusting either of you again. This isn't over. Just
Which
you
means
wait.
we can never go with him on this path.
Tried to think of something to say, but before I could come up with the right words, he was gone. Spun around.
Oh fuck, this means we only get...
Fi, what the fu? But she was gone too. What the hell? How'd she disappear like that?
Oof.
As I looked around the room for Fi, I noticed that Clover, Kay, and Luna all seemed to be having some kind of an argument as well. I moved closer and did my best to listen surreptitiously.
Why did you do it? Sorry. I guess I wanted to get out of here as soon as possible, you know?
I apologize, but I felt the same way.
But if we all choose Ally, then we could all escape together. It only takes 3 turns to get 6 points. That would be enough to get us out. Why? Well, of course we know that. But if we betray, then it's faster.
If your opponent chooses ally and you choose betray, then you gain 3 points. Do that twice and you get 6 points. You see?
If you ally, then you have to play the AB game 3 times.
But if you betray somebody, you only have to do it twice.
Why are you acting like that's the right thing to do? I almost feel like you're blaming me or something.
We aren't trying to blame you.
But, I mean, if you just think about it, wouldn't it make sense to choose betray?
Oh.
Forget it. I understand now. It was silly of me to trust you guys.
Luna walked off with her head buried between her shoulders. Her back trembled as if perhaps she were crying, but I couldn't see her face.
See, that's the one I don't like the most. Like, that they took advantage of that poor girl.
Calistio and Quark, however, seem to be having some issues of their own.
Fine. You just wait.
Man, this is all your fault, Quark.
My fault? Why are you blaming me?
They exchanged dark looks, then stomped off in different directions.
Yeah, it's not Quark.
Zero, when does the next round start?
What makes you think we'll be having another round?
Well, you said round 1. If there's a round 1, then there's...
Besides, that's impossible.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why the...
The
Zoom!
Yeah, we need to know all this shit.
So,
I don't know of any way to make you go faster.
Hold on.
What?
Tim Mioji left, and so did Fi, but now they're suddenly back.
Yeah, they came back.
Continuity error.
Nah.
So...
They just have one. They just have one image.
As long as the scanner sees the right combination of bracelets.
No, Tim Mioji even spoke to the bunny.
No.
Then...
Are we a pair again?
Hey, what's...
No, it's nothing. You die.
Dramatic.
Your fancy little bracelets pick up on that. They're always watching. So, if you're...
Haha!
I have to guess. I'd say
Stay there.
what?
Why?
Yeah. Why am I going to die?
I guess I can tell you why. Anyone who's BP, I'm pretty...
I see. Alice, Luna, and I only have 1 BP. That means we'd have less than
Skip
0
things we
if
haven't
lost
heard.
2
We haven't heard
points.
Tim Mioji say this.
He's given the same explanation we gave.
I know, but you can't skip it because he's the one who's saying it.
Important stuff.
Sorry.
Sorry's not. I thought you were supposed to.
Well...
Is there anything else not?
There we go.
Meow.
Boom.
This is a really long scene. Now we can choose where it is we're looking for stuff. Now things are going to be slightly different as we go there, by the way.
We took the infirmary first last time.
We're still skipping.
Yeah. Same stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, keep going. Having the first and second. Maybe they can tell us something. Or she could respond, Alice spoke up.
Sorry, but I think that's all you're going to get.
What? Why?
We don't have any proof that you're not Zero's senior. If you are, then she'd be telling our enemy all our secrets. I can't let that happen.
You an idiot. For one, I'm not Zero. Second, even if I was, I'd already know everything you're refusing to tell me. There's no reason for you to do this.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe there's something we know that Zero Senior doesn't.
You're an idiot.
That would be?
Are you deaf? I said we're not telling you.
You're an idiot.
Let's go, Clover. There's one more room we haven't visited.
Oh, okay.
001?
Coming.
Hey,
01?
hold on a minute.
Goodbye.
Crew cabin 1. We're in crew cabin 2.
The only word that appropriately describes how they left the room would be stalked. It kicked one of the lockers angrily, but it only rattled back at me. There wasn't anything more I could do. It was time to move on to a different room.
Everything after this point should be different.
Going to guess someone's gonna run into here.
Ah, sig.
There was something happening in the infirmary?
Well, I do feel a little strange. I've lost my balance a few times.
My body feels kind of weird too, now that you mention it.
That's probably just because you were asleep for so long.
Are you suggesting that our incarceration here has nothing to do with this article?
Yeah, it just doesn't add up. The order's backwards. Maybe if we'd been thrown in here after this virus started spreading. But right now it looks like we were abducted before this thing turned into a pandemic. How's that make any kind of sense? Besides, you found that article in the safe, right? That means Zero Senior put it there specifically so we could find it and read it.
Why would Zero do something like that?
So that we'd think this place is a quarantine facility. So that we'd think what Zero wants us to think.
How do you mean?
And this thing is just a...
We already heard
prop,
this.
something to set the scene.
To the infirmary. at Mach speed.
Sigma, what do you want?
What do I want? What, you think I'm here to play doctor? Only if you're secretly Clover.
Tell you what, how about I'll be the doctor?
Why is...
You get on the exam table, and I'll cut you open with that scalpel over there.
Man, are you still pissed?
What the hell do you think? My BP's down to 1 thanks to you.
Come on, I already told you I was sorry.
Yes, and that makes it all better. You goddamn idiot.
Well then, what the heck am I supposed to do?
Piss off.
Seems like I'm already doing that.
You don't know the half of it. Just get out of my sight.
Easy solution then, just close your eyes.
Leave before I make yours black. The last guy I fought went home in an ambulance.
Shouldn't have picked a fight with a paramedic then.
Shut up.
Fine. Shoved my hands in my pockets, looked around the room.
Shouldn't have fought with an EMT then, you cunt.
So is it just you here?
On this side of the divider, yeah. Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna tell that to someone who betrayed me.
Alright, fine. I'll just ask Quark. Quark!
Hey, stop it! Quark!
Quark, he's downed.
What? Move!
Oh shit.
But Yelly shoved me away and ran to the boy's side.
Quark, what's wrong? Say something!
Temioji shook the boy's body. Is he breathing?
Oh.
Yeah, he's breathing.
And he just passed out.
I don't know. Look, that doesn't matter. Just go find that girl, Luna. She said she was a doctor, didn't she? Quark needs a doctor.
Right. Hang on. I'll be right back. She was probably still in the lounge. I spun around and ran off.
Well, I feel so terrible sick.
By then, everyone pushed their way into the infirmary, gathered around Quark's bed. Okay, back into Alice and Clover. You heard of this virus, Radical 6?
Yeah.
It's got a knife for your soul, blah 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 blah.
In the knee. He'll never be an adventurer.
Meow. 3 choices. How are we gonna do this?
Won't go Sigma.
Ah. Ah.
Yeah, he will not go with us. And Alice will not go with Dio.
He betrayed
and
me
Luna
last time.
probably won't go with Kay.
What about Phi?
You hit the button, right, Sigma?
Well, yeah, but...
I don't want to go with Dio. Same reason. I can't trust that he won't betray me again.
Thanks a lot, Quark. You've single-handedly torpedoed my reputation.
Fucking little shit.
Well, that leaves us with option B.
No, we can't do option B.
Why not?
Sorry, Luna, but I can't trust you, or Phi either. The way he is right now, someone's going to have to carry Quark. I just can't afford to give him to someone I don't trust.
That's why this doesn't have another branch here. There's only one way it can go.
Yep.
Thought you trusted Phi.
Not enough for this.
Then what do you intend to do?
Quark shifted silently in Kay's arms.
Quark is a solo, as are you, Tenmyoji. Solos can't pair with one another. You do remember that?
Yeah, of course I do. I didn't say there wasn't anyone I trusted. There's one person.
Who do you trust then?
Clover.
What? Me?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Why?
I can't tell you. I just know that you'll keep him safe.
Well, that's nice of you to say, but my partner is Sigma. Are you sure you want me to take him?
It's fine. Clover, you just vote by yourself. Make Sigma wait outside the AB room.
No. If Clover takes Quark, then we have to go with option C, right? That means I'll be stuck with Dio. There's no way in hell I'm going to let that happen.
Who do you want to pair up with then?
Isn't it obvious? Quark. Remember what the announcement said? Something about how the system will automatically vote ally for anyone who doesn't enter their own vote in time, if Quark doesn't wake up by then.
No! This is exactly why I can't trust any of you!
1 minute remains until chromatic doors close.
We don't have time to argue this. Let's take a vote. Those opposed to C?
Alice and Dio's hands went up.
What? Why don't you want C, Dio?
Well, if she's got that much of a hate on for me,
Because she's mean
it
to me.
hardly plays into my hands, does it?
Fine, whatever. I assume anyone who didn't raise their hand is alright with option C then?
No one objected. I kept my mouth shut. Just as Alice had said, there was an excellent chance that Quark would default to Ally. If that happened, he'd make a great opponent. I'd choose Ally, of course, but it would be good to not have to worry about him choosing Betray.
Alright. 6-2 in favor.
That's why it splits off, because we can either betray the kid or
Stay
not.
here if you don't like it. I imagine your partner might have something to say about that, though.
Kay handed Quark to me gently, then crossed his arms and turned to face Alice. Her jaw clenched as she stared up at him, and I could see the gears turning inside her head.
Fine.
10 seconds remain until chromatic doors close.
This is why we
Very
can go
clever.
down to option C
The door's closing.
Right!
on the other path, by the
Take
way.
care of Quark.
Don't worry about it. Got a good grip on Quark, nodded to Tenmyoji, and took off for the door. Our feet slapped against the metal floor as we ran. The empty voice of the announcer echoed in my ears.
2, 1, 0. Chromatic doors closing.
Know what that means?